Everyone, hey, greetings. It's Rajee Narinesingh, trans activist, author, spiritualist, actress, show host of two online shows, Trans Gurus and My Southern Exposure, and reality TV personality from the reality show Botched on the E Network. Shout out to E, I love you guys. So, I'm coming to you from my very humble home here in South Florida, USA. And you see my makeup? Well, I call this a touch of makeup. Well, you see, the last video I did, I didn't wear any makeup. Oh my God. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. No makeup, not a stitch of makeup. And the comments were pretty positive, so that's a good thing. But I thought, let me do a lighter makeup, see how that looks on camera, because those of you that know me know that I beat this face normally, honey. Oh boy, I work the makeup. So anyway, I'm coming to you from my humble home, like I said, here in South Florida, USA. And I've been thinking okay, so me and some of the other trans girls in the community, we talk, and we're, for some reason, I feel, and they do too, that we're targeted more than other people that post online. All the different social media platforms, their administration targets us because we're trans. We're still considered controversial. So, honey, they don't waste time. And when I say they, I'm talking about all the different social media platforms. Don't waste time pulling something down. And the crazy thing is, sometimes they pull something down and you're like, that wasn't offensive. And then you see other crap that's left up there by people that aren't trans, but I guess that's okay. And I'm like, it's not fair, but I know they do it. And it probably depends on the administrator that's reviewing. If they have issues with trans people, then they're like, oh, this is too much. We got to pull this down. I live in California. Let me stop. Anyway, that's been on my mind. I just had to vent a little bit. Thank God, though, to all of the social media platforms that I'm on, you all allow me to have somewhat of a platform. So thank you. Thank you. I got this link the other day from a friend of mine. I swear, I think reality TV is just me, honey. Well, what happened? The link was a link to the Andy Cohen's trailer for his new show. It's called wait, let me see, I wrote it down. The Story of Reality TV. Yeah, The Story of Reality TV. And it's a new series starting next month on the E Network. March 25th is the date. And so basically, The Real was promoting the show, and guess who's in The Real? I am. Yes, and I'm under inspirational. Well, what they do is they take a look at 3 decades, 30 years of reality TV and the highlights, And so a lot of people are in The Real, all the different ones that stood out in reality TV. And I'm one of them. Oh my God, I feel so proud. And thank God, Andy Cohen put me under motivational, inspirational. I guess it's the same thing, but inspirational is where he put me under. And I was like, oh, thank you, Andy. At least I wasn't under Sideshow Circus Freak. Let me stop. So check it out. It's next month, March 25th on E. I tell you, I think my life has been somewhat of a reality show anyway. And for those of you that know me and hear a lot of my videos, all of the different events and situations and circumstances that I find myself in, it can be quite a reality show, right? So I just wanted to share a few more of those special moments in my life with you all. Oh my God. So I'm in my 20s. I met this guy. I started dating him. But you know, when you meet someone and you're attracted at first and you think, okay, the vibe is good. And then, like, about a month in, you're like, I don't know. I don't know if I like this. So this guy, he was coming on so hot and heavy. And I was trying to like create some distance because I was really over it. And he would just pop up at my place. Now, at the time, I was renting from my aunt. I was renting a room for my aunt in Miami. And so he'd show up like in the morning, like after everyone left. At that time, I think I was working the afternoon shift, the swing shift, I think it was. And so everyone had already left for work. So he knew I'd be there by myself. And he'd just pop up banging on my bedroom window. And this one morning I'm in bed and I hear the gate open. I'm like, oh, fuck, it's him. I jump out of bed and I run out my room because he would always come to the window and look through the blinds. And you know, it was my aunt's house. I couldn't put the blackout blinds that I like because, honey, those blinds, those shades, they cover a little bit, but people can see through them. Like, they can see shadows and stuff like that, silhouettes. So I always like to get the blackout blinds if I don't feel like I'm getting the privacy that I need. But anyway, it was my aunt's house, so I didn't have that. And so I jumped out of bed, and so I'm outside my room, and I'm peeking, and like against the wall, and I hear him, and he's banging on the window and calling my name and banging on the window. Then he goes over to my other windows and he's banging, and so I stay quiet. I'm like, oh my God. Well, no, of course I know what he wanted. It's a booty call, honey. He was on fire. That monkey was on his back, and so he kept on for about 10 minutes, and then finally I heard the gate close, his car start up, and him leave. So I'm like, oh, good. Okay, so, and the thing is, my car was outside, so I knew he knew I was there, but whatever. I'm like, okay, he's gone. So I go about my day. I go in the bathroom, I start grooming, I take a bath and, wash my hair, and I'm just grooming myself. I come out and I go in my room and I'm in front of the mirror and I'm doing my makeup. And all of a sudden I get this feeling like someone's watching me. But I'm like, oh, it's nothing, and I'm continuing with my makeup. And then the feeling, it gets really, really strong. And I just turned and looked over at the window and I saw his two eyes looking at me. And when our eyes met, and he's like, open the door. And I jumped. And it was like, oh my God, because it startled me. He had driven back real quietly and he opened the gate. I didn't hear any of it. And he was waiting and peeking through the window. I'm like, damn it. The Adventures of Rajee. So, okay, in high school, and I thought about this situation the other day. It's funny how like shit will just pop into your mind. Like out of the blue, I don't know, it just popped into my mind. So in high school, well, I've always been like a humanitarian type of person. I've had this like humanitarian spirit about me. And so in high school, I volunteered for the local hospital, the community hospital, the Red Cross, the United Way. I started young. I was like 14 when I started. And so I had a really good friend named Janice Baldine. Shout out to Janice. I wonder if she's still here on the planet. I tried to find her online. I can't find her. But I hope she's okay. God, it's been so many years since we talked. Anyway, Janice was Filipino and black, I think. Really exotic looking. And she lived with her aunt. I think it was her great aunt. And her aunt was so nice. But so we're in class. This was like algebra class, if I'm not mistaken. Can't remember the teacher's name, but I remember she was Irish. And so Janice sitting next to me. And so, like in American Red Cross, I went through like all this training, like for CPR and like if someone's choking and first aid training and all of that. So we're in class, and all of a sudden, well, Janice is like Janet is chewing on candy. I keep saying Janice. Janet is chewing on candy, and all of a sudden, she's like, ugh. And she's holding her throat, like, I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, and the whole class like stopped, and they're looking. The teacher, oh my God, she turned beet red, and she was just frozen. So I jump up, and I like grab her behind her waist from the back, around her waist, and I start like, oh my God. Lord, don't ask me what I was doing. All my training went out the freaking window. I think I was doing it right. I have no idea. And then she's like, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm like, but Janice, you were choking, and I asked you if you were okay. You weren't answering me. Because they say if the person can't talk, then that means they're really choking, you know? The airway is being obstructed. So I was so embarrassed. And I felt bad, but it was just me wanting to help. I mean, I'm like, you know, Red Cross, community, volunteer, with all this training. Like, how would I look? How would it be if I sat there and watched her choke to death? She was even like a little mad at me for a few days. I'm like, what? It's funny how like you try to, well, you think you're doing the right thing and it ends up going haywire. So anyway, I thought about that. But anyway, shout out to Janet. Shout out to Janet Baldine. I love you, girl, and you're in my heart. I think about you from time to time and all the good times we had back in high school. So, okay, this next topic, event, incident, circumstance is serious in the sense that it revolves around like domestic violence, abuse. Thank God I've never been in a long-term domestic violence relationship. I've had like touches of it, like, or where like, okay, so it's early in the relationship and I see signs or like something happens and I'm like, oh, hell no. And I like just put it to an end. I don't stay in it. I've had some abusive relationships where there were incidents that happened, but nothing where I was like in a long-term type of situation being battered. Thank God. But this particular guy, his name was well, they called him, ooh, maybe I shouldn't say the name. Oh my God. Okay. He was from Delaware. I met him down here in South Florida. He didn't give a damn about anything, y'all. Oh my God. Talk about bad boy who didn't give a fuck. I mean, when I say that he didn't even care if people saw us together, he was just like wild. Like, and that was ironically kind of what I liked about him, that he didn't care. But honey, the craziness was to come. Oh my God. So this one particular time we were getting together, he had me come pick him up at his house where he was staying. I think he was staying at his aunt's house. And he wasn't driving at the time. So I drive over there, and when I get there, it's all these like rough boys in the front. Like rough guys, you know, like thug type looking guys. And I'm like, oh shit. And one of them starts walking over to my car and like I roll the window down, like literally. I was scared, y'all. And he's like, what's up? And I'm like, well, I'm here for Jersey. Oh, y'all didn't hear that. Okay. I'm here for somebody. And so he's like, oh, he left, he ran out to go to the store or something to do an errand. He'll be back. So I was like, oh, okay. So he says, well, you want to come inside? I'm like, oh, no, I'm okay. Thank you. No, I'll wait here in the car. Thanks a lot. I'm okay. So, anyway, so then he walks away. So I was like, damn, this boy doesn't even care if his family sees me. These rough ass cousins of his. Oh my God. So this other time we're in the car, I'm driving and we're arguing. So all of a sudden during the argument, he takes his hands and he goes in my crotch and he starts playing with me. And I'm like, will you stop? Like, stop it. And he looks straight ahead. I'm still driving and he's looking straight ahead. And all of a sudden he punches me in my face while I'm driving. And he grabs me in the crotch and starts like rubbing it and stroking me. And he's like, you better fucking come before we get to the next light. What? Can anyone say insanity? Oh. Needless to say, I got out of that relationship quick, fast, and in a hurry. But you see what I mean? My actual life is a reality show. So on that note, I want to wish everyone love, happiness, peace, good health, prosperity, and many wonderful blessings. And try not to get in a relationship where you're driving and they punch you in the face and then they expect you to get all sexual and hot and bothered before you get to the next traffic light, red light. Oh my God. Oh, on that note, bye. Oh, and don't forget to check out Andy Cohen on the E Network, the story of reality TV. Okay, March 25th. Bye, y'all. Love you.